Entitled Sports Special. Two of the First Division's hottest shots, Swindon and Derby, line up for battle. If you want to know how to finish, watch this. So the central match live this afternoon from the county ground, Swindon versus Derby. Yes, unstoppable force against immovable object. Hello and welcome to another fascinating duel between two Midlands clubs bent on promotion at any price. Well, within reason. And watch out, Greaves is about with his finger on the pulse and his eye on the ball. And watch this space for the First Division goals from yesterday, featuring the league leaders Newcastle and Leicester City back on song. And since the festive season is very nearly upon us, stand by for news of our Christmas goals competition. But Jim, two of the First Division's most positive teams in action today.
Yeah, they both play very attacking football, as we are well accustomed to now in our Sunday programmes.
Yes.
They play it naturally. 64 goals between them this season. Yes. So really, I mean, good football. It should be all about good football. It should be all about creating gaps. It should be all about creating chances, and hopefully it'll be about scoring a few goals. But certainly both sides are up to scratch. They are really, we should be really in for a good team, good time, shouldn't we?
Shall we just have a look at the statistics? Swindon at their best at home, Derby more effective away from home. Only Newcastle and Tranmere have a better home record than Swindon. Only Newcastle have a better away record than Derby. So that's what I meant by unstoppable force.
Oh yeah, I wondered what you meant then. I thought you was going into song. No, that's what it's all about. Hopefully we get ourselves a good game time. Yeah, I have to wait and see.
All right, well, Glenn Hoddle, of course, is a tremendous influence down at the county ground in more ways than one, and Jim has been studying him.
It's impossible to say anything different from what anybody else has said already about Glenn Hoddle, but his passing is absolutely superb. He's the best passer of the ball I've seen in football still to this day, and that includes the Premier League. And when he doesn't pass, he can go it alone. He's a master of looking up and finding his player. He has extraordinary vision. In this particular move that we see now, 17 touches of the ball between all the Swindon players before the ball finally finishes up in the back of the net. A really super move. For me, the goal of the season, without doubt it would have been, but for some abysmal decision making.
Yes, the dreaded offside preventing Mickey Hazard getting his name on the score sheet. Time now to go over to the county ground and hear from both of the managers, Glenn Hoddle and Arthur Cox, talking to Gary Newbon.
Glenn, Swindon have been a joy to watch on television this season, but you can't win on television.
You've been a jinx to us, haven't you? Let's face it, Gary. No, we've enjoyed our TV games, and you're rightly saying we've had 3 draws. Let's hope today that we can change it.
Is it a consolation that Derby haven't won either on the central match line?
I didn't know that, so that's a good omen for us as well. But no, it's going to be a good game today.
What about the weather, though?
Yes, it's just starting to really come down again now, and we've had some heavy rain here. The pitch is in good nick. Down the centre, it's nice and firm. On the wings, it's a little bit soft, but it's going to cut up. but I think we've played enough, you know, good football on pitches like this, and we'll look to do the same today.
We need one more game today to set an all-time club record of 6 away victories consecutively. So obviously we'll be doing all we possibly can to achieve that, Gary.
Swindon haven't won on our programme either, so that's good for you as well.
You keep coming out with the good news and the bad news and everything. Let's get on with the football, eh? That's what we're here for, isn't it?
Well, you both play very good football. Do you think the weather's going to affect it at all, Arthur? It's raining heavily.
Same for both teams.
So it should be a good match then?
Well, we hope so. We'll do everything we possibly can to make it so, and that obviously Derby finish on the right end of the scoreline.
Forecast, Jim?
Let's hope for a good game, Tone. We'll stick at that at the moment.
Nothing like sitting on the fence, is there?
That's not sitting on the fence.
Anyway, as Arthur Cox says, let's now get on with the game, go live to the county ground and join our commentator, Brian Moore, accompanied by Snoz, John Sillett.
Thanks, Tony. It really is a dirty afternoon here at Swindon. The rain is sweeping in, and by the look of it, there's plenty more to follow. But here's the good news, at least for Swindon fans. Today marked the official opening of another 1,700 seats in the North Stand here, with the help from the Football Trust, raising the number of seats overall in the county ground to 9,200. Well, as we come to the team lineups, more good news for Swindon. Glenn Hoddle can name an unchanged side for the 8th successive game, and if you believe settled teams are most likely to win, well, Swindon are well on their way. And a win today, in fact, would take them to 3rd in the First Division of the Barclays League. Derby County not so fortunate. Arthur Cox makes a change at right back, where the Dutchman Richard Galouz comes in for his first start in the league in place of Andy Comyn. Darren Wassell is still missing from the defence. Simon Coleman continues. Tommy Johnson's overcome a slight groin strain, and on the left Paul Williams comes in for Ted McMinn. Our referee, who's just got the game underway, is Philip Don of Hanworth Park in Middlesex. Swindon, of course, in the red shirts, attacking the goal to our right. Kitson finding Gaviadini on the far side for Derby. The challenge by Sean Taylor. And a corner in the opening minute then for Derby County. To be taken by Tommy Johnson. Hammond going for that one. In fact, it just sliced off the top of the crossbar. It's a goal kick to Swindon Town. John Slitt.
Well, Brian, we're in for an interesting game. Here, it depends on what Derby or how they control the midfield. For me, the midfield boys are going to be vital. Martin Cool has got to use all his experience, all his know-how to keep Mickey Hazard quiet and to stop Swindon from playing from that department.
Certainly a very big game for both these clubs today. Swindon, as I say, could go into 3rd place if they win, and to keep fully in the chase after Newcastle and promotion, or at least a playoff place. And Derby really need to steady the boat overall. They've lost 3 of the last 4 in the league, in spite of that good away record of theirs. Maskell, a good goal-scoring run at the moment is Craig Maskell, 17 this season and 4 in the last 3, but caught offside there. 24-year-old striker who joined them in July from Reading. Steve Sutton giving the ball a good wipe there, I noticed, and clearly it's going to be a difficult day for goalkeepers, but a good surface here for 2 good passing sides. Williams getting in, and in fact scanned off the referee Philip Don. It'll be a throw then to Swindon. Colin Calderwood knocking it forward up towards Mitchell. Mitchell beaten in the air by Short. Williams. A throw to Swindon. Calderwood. Finding Kerslake. Mitchell knocking it back there. Ling, Mitchell again, the ball coming in. Maskell looking to get an opening for a shot. Summerby getting in there too. Hazard trying to keep it going now. Hoddle certainly will keep it going as he plays a short ball here from number 5 Calderwood. Maskell. I think a little indication there of the sort of passing game we're going to see at least from Swindon, John Sillett.
You're going to need to be very, very tight, and it's going to be a tight game to start with. And the passing of Swindon has been superb so far this season. I just hope we see them still trying to play that way. Interesting point that's come up, Brian, is that at the moment Pembridge is so close to Nicky Hazard, I couldn't believe.
It's going to be a very interesting battle through the centre there. Pembridge on Hazard. Back to Calderwood. Kerslake knocking it forward. Summerby chasing. Williams right back there, holding on to Summerby. Swindon get the throw. Maskell. Here's Pembridge. As soon as Hazard got anywhere near the ball, Pembridge was really attacking him, and it's all Swindon at the moment. And Goulouz, the Dutchman, knocking it wide now for Johnson. The chase is on for Kitson, who's quick, but not quick enough to get that. David Kerslake. Kitson. Calderwood getting it back to Hoddle. Oh, what a ball by Hoddle. Straight to the path of Mitchell. Lings made a good break forward for him as well. And the pass unlikely to reach Horlock on the far side. But he might pick this one up. Gets it back to Hazard. Knocked it forward again to Ling. Derby have really got their hands full here at the moment. Mitchell knocking it on again towards Maskell. A long cross by him. Goulouz knocking it away up to Johnson. Horlock doing well. Glad that Swindon picked up for a song from West Ham. Hoddle playing it in towards Mitchell. Hazard. Summerby. Kerslake back in again towards Kerslake. Slipped at the crucial moments.
Kerslake's going to be a player who will look to get forward. He's got great ability when going forward. He looks a very confident player in the First Division, and I would say Derby are going to have a problem with the left back should I go forward to pick him up. Derby look a little bit square at the back to me early on. Be a bit worried if I was Arthur Cox. I'd like somebody dropping off a bit deeper.
Well, it's a free kick for a little foul there on Maskell. Hoddle and Hazard over this free kick. It's going to be Hoddle. Curling it in. Goulouz getting it away. Martin Ling sliding it through here for Maskell. Oh, a lovely touch by him. Ling taking it on across the face of that Derby goal. Behind for the goal kick.
A lovely little back heel there by Maskell. Superb skill, good understanding. This is Swindon when they're at their best. They produce this type of movement off the ball, which impresses me. And the lovely little back heel, Ling taking it on. Could have gone possibly a yard nearer to his goal. There he is, strikes it with his right foot, just pulls it wide.
Steve Sutton then with the goal kick for Derby County. Pembridge. Maskell. In goes Taylor. And Derby get a throw. But apart from their excellent passing that we've already seen, there's Hoddle knocking down the little header. Horlock, little touch. Hazard, a lovely ball for Hazard. Kerslake can't quite get to it. They've had such a good scoring record as well, John. 49 goals, I think it is, in something like 24 games. That's almost 2 a game Swindon have scored in all matches this season.
That's an excellent average, isn't it? You know, when you see sides going forward like these two both will, they're going to score goals. It's the only way you score them, Brian, is to get forward and get attacking the opposition.
Pembridge, like the look of him. Ball that catches Kitson offside, though. Paul Kitson, 10 goals this season for Derby.
Both sides are pushing up, and maybe we could end up with two sides playing within 15 yards of the centre circle. I'd hate to see that, but at the moment that could happen in this game, and it would be a shame if it does.
It's what you pros call squeezing up all the time, isn't it?
That's right.
It does mean there's so little room to play. It's the long ball by Goulouz, but that'll gain pace almost on this surface and come through to Nicky Hammond. Here's Hoddle. Little touch by him to Ling. Hoddle's gone forward, wants it back, gets it back. Flicks it wide this time to Horlock. Back to Taylor. Knocking it up to Mitchell. Turned inside again. Will some of you get to that one? No. But Hoddle will. And a great ball now. There's a chance coming up as Johnson, and he's got Kitson in the middle. Now you have a feeling that Tommy Johnson might have done better than that. Suddenly Swindon, having been caught pushing up, very nearly caught on the break.
I was amazed Johnson didn't square that ball. Kitson was in a superb position. He looked up and seen him.
That showed it
there
perfectly.
It is there, and he should have just squared the ball across, and everything would have been 1-0 in Derby's favour. But Swindon got to be aware they pushed too many men forward. There was 1 against 2 left at the back there, and you can't afford to do that even though you're at home.
Well, now there's 4 against 4 as Williams finds Tommy Johnson. Plays Kitson in. But in the end, it goes back to Hammond. And here's Hoddle. The rain still beating down. Hoddle knocking it forward towards Summerby. Coleman gets it back to Sutton.
The impressive thing about Nicky Summerby is his engine. He's got a wonderful engine. He's heading things off his own line one moment, and he's up in the opposing box the next. He's a very, very good player.
Here's Calderwood. Has it. Beautiful passing again. Wonderful passing there, and the ball knocked in. Goulouz getting it away for Derby. Hoddle. 10 minutes of the game gone. 0-0 here at the county ground Swindon between Swindon Town and Derby County. Free kick to Derby, quickly taken by their number 8 Martin Cool. Here's Goulouz playing it in. Taylor. Horlock. Hazard. Now Hoddle. Kitson's after him, but Hoddle releases it early again. This time to Maskell, with Mitchell waiting in the middle. Gabbiadini. Into the path of Johnson. Out comes Nicky Hammond.
Well, it looks as though the Swindon back 4 are out to gamble, and I'm a bit surprised at that. They should just be keeping the shape. They should be just holding and saying, right, let's get too carried away with going forward and getting goals early on. They've got to play forward, but they're just leaving themselves open at the back at the moment.
Cole knocking in towards Williams. It's a goal kick to Swindon.
I'm a little surprised where Williams is playing. He's playing more in midfield. I imagine him to be out here wider on the left, but he's playing in midfield with Cool sitting just behind him and Pembry.
Dragging Kitson more to the left as well, John, aren't they? With Gabbiadini making the breaks through the middle.
That's right. They're playing 3 across the front now, Derby, and trying to slit them into the holes left by the opposing back 4.
Short will seek the simple way back. That's if it is a simple way back in these conditions to Steve Sutton. Copes very adequately with that, though. Gabbiadini knocking it back this time to Michael Forsyth. Oh, lovely play by Kersley. Beating 2 defenders. He tried to then slip it wide of Coleman for Mitchell to run onto.
A mistake there, Brian, by young Kersley. You pass to the space. He tried to pass it tight beside the defender. You pass to the space beyond the defender, and then there would have been a problem for Derby.
As it is, it's Sutton, 31-year-old Derby goalkeeper, with the kick for the visitors up towards Tommy Johnson, but it was Taylor's header. Mitchell chasing, Forsyth there, well in control for Derby. Knocking it back again to Sutton.
Forsyth kept very cool there under pressure. Good player, like Forsyth. He got the ability to do both. He can defend and he can come forward. very good left back.
Had a little knock on the knee after the Coca-Cola Cup tie against Arsenal. He came through that, and he's certainly, as you say, very important to Derby in defence. Gabbiadini doing well here for them in attack. Cross coming in, and in the end put behind by Summerby for the corner.
That proves one point how difficult it is to defend on a slippery condition. That ball flew across, and Summerby just had to stick his foot there. It could have gone anywhere. He was fortunate that it went over the top of the bar.
Pembridge with the corner. Floated behind. Well, we've been drooling at Swindon's passing ability, John, but at the same time, it's Derby who've, in fact, in the penalty area, looked the more dangerous side.
I feel Swindon are playing a gambling game, and that is pushing Glenn Hoddle through. He's going through very early in this game, whereas when I've seen him before, he's normally waited until the game is sort of settled and played, but he's pushing forward possibly too early and leaving gaps in the back four.
Hammond with the kick. Good jump there by Mitchell, who's on this side of the field.
And as you've said, Brian, Derby look a good side going forward. They've got the ability, they've got the pace to break, they've got the ability of players to run down channels and to get balls in behind the back four.
Here's Hoddle with the free kick for Swindon. 0-0. And just over 15 minutes of the game gone. Taylor's come up on the far side, tried to get up there undetected, but still won it in the air. Johnson's touch. Gabbiadini gathers, puts it into the path of Williams. Wasn't easy for Williams there. Craig Short knocking it forward again. And again, Swindon calmly showing skill. And then Hoddle's long ball releasing David Mitchell on the far side, knocking it back for Maskell. Summerby's gone through the middle. Deflected off the Derby defender, and a corner for Swindon.
What great vision and what a majestic ball that was from Hoddle. It was a lovely weighted ball. Good movement from Maskell. It takes two to make a good pass like that, as Maskell's running, and that elegant right foot ball through over the top by Hoddle.
Hazard with the corner. Taylor at the near post along with Mitchell. Maskell at the far post. Hoddle waiting on the edge of the box alongside Calderwood. But it's Gabbiadini who gets it away, misdirects his header straight back to Hazard, but then finishes the job.
Mickey Hazard should have just had one touch and got the ball in. He had enough bodies in there to just lay a ball into the box and let them challenge for it.
Gabbiadini forward on for the goal kick, though. Derby had that 2-1 defeat at Highbury on Tuesday night in the Coca-Cola Cup, and to be fair, they could have been 4 or 5 down maybe in the first 20 minutes when they were all over the place, but they came back very well and in fact made a couple of excellent chances, just one before half-time and one afterwards. I mean, I suppose in the last analysis they might even have won the darn thing. As our little pal in the studio says, it is a funny old game, John.
He says a lot of funny things, though, doesn't he, our little pal?
Williams. Now, from my angle, I can't see whether that's a throw or a corner. Throw? Corner. Well, it's a corner then for Swindon. Nicky Summerby with this one. Deep one. It was Williams who got a valuable header in there. Martin Ling trying to knock it back in again now for Swindon, succeeds in doing so. Taylor's on the far side, and again I think it was Williams there who got a header in, and a free kick for Derby.
2 vital headers there by Williams. The first one especially, because coming in behind him was a central defender, Calderwood, and he would have definitely made contact there, and it could have been a possible chance. But Williams got back in there, used his height, and the ball in from Ling, he was on the end of again, although he was foul.
Summerby. Corner's free kick for Swindon. Short got a header in there, Gabbiadini.
That's a wasted ball there from Gabbiadini. He's just got to keep them in possession. There were 3 against 3 and there wasn't a lot of pressure on him. He's just got to keep his cool, keep his side in possession.
Ling playing the ball back to Hammond. And presumably Kitson caught offside, but the linesman kept his flag down. The referee in any case is quite happy with Hammond in possession.
It was nice to see Hammond keeping his cool there, Brian, after the mistake the poor lad made at Peterborough.
That was a howler and a half, wasn't it?
One of those we all make at times, and you dread it happening to you, but when it does.
Pollock leading the charge now for Swindon.
You just put your hands together and pray that it's not going to result in a goal, which it did. Very good young keeper, been very impressed with him all the same.
Pollock with the throw. Ling deflected off a Derby defender. Hoggle couldn't quite get there before Kitson, and the ball into touch again. Just one little thing about that passing to goalkeepers and so on. I noticed that at Arsenal on Tuesday night, you know, John, they've obviously got a policy. Every time the ball is passed back to the defender, to the goalkeeper, one of their forwards, one of the Arsenal forwards, instantly chases after it. You know, whatever. It's a lost cause, but it always puts the goalkeeper under that little bit of pressure. Goalkeepers unused to playing in this sort of way at the moment, and I'm surprised more teams don't do that.
Yes, that is something that they must take up soon. I've been amazed.
Follow shots straight at Sutton.
There's somebody's going to come that in the first division. I haven't seen it yet, but somebody's going to start doing that in the first division. It is unusual for goalkeepers to receive balls at their feet.
Now Kitson going through. Can he shake off Kerslake? He can't. And in fact, Swindon have got Sean Taylor down injured. The game goes on, and Calderwood plays it into touch. I get the impression that he's in a good deal of pain and bother there.
Look, a nasty injury that to me, Brian. And if there is a big, strong player out on that park, it's Sean Taylor. To see him down there, and whenever you see a player stay still, you always worry about it. When they're rolling or throwing their hands up or shouting and screaming, they're normally all right. But it's when they just lay there like that that you worry.
He's a big West Country boy who's been really very valuable to Swindon. Something like 8 goals this season. Scored at both ends, of course, last week in that extraordinary game at Peterborough. And here we are again, John. Didn't quite see how he got himself flattened there.
Well, I hope it wasn't Kevin Morris mugging him. Poor old Kevin got mugged the other day, I've read to
Yes, on Friday apparently.
That's the physio we're talking
That's
about
right.
for Swindon.
It's John Gorman, Glenn Hoddle's right-hand man here at Swindon. And John Moncur. They're looking to do a bit of warming up perhaps. But the good news for Swindon is that Sean Taylor's on his feet. He was smacked in the face by the look of it.
You'll smell insults, do the job.
Wonders.
Looks as though he's putting false teeth in. I wouldn't say, you never play with those in anyway.
He's put his gum shield in.
It's a gum shield, obviously, quite right.
And knocked back by Paul Williams, sporting lead to David Kerslake. Just coming up to the halfway mark in the first half now. Still 0-0, knocked on there by Mitchell. Hazard is chasing and Short doing the sensible thing. There's no point in playing that back to Sutton. Gets it wide for Galouz. And here's Martin Cool, former Portsmouth player. Ling takes it off him. It's with Hoddle. And Hoddle, the pass catching both Horlock and Hazard offside.
There's something I never enjoyed playing as a coach was the offside trap, because I think the times players start getting lazy, and I never believed in it. I say, right, the game's here to be played. Don't take the chance of making a mistake by being square at the back.
Goes with the long kick. Williams just about got there. Hazard now trying to retrieve it for Swindon, and well, you've got to have a bit of confidence to play that sort of way on the edge and across the face of your own penalty area. But now it's with Ling, and a great break through the middle, gaining pace all the time, trying to get Mitchell in. In the end, plays it wide here for Kerslake, who just knocks it in for Maskell. Still with Maskell. Tried to find Hoddle with it. And in the end, it's a throw to Derby County.
The way Maskell ran there, he's so unselfish. He took all the Derby defence with him, running out to the right here, and left a big gap in their defence so Ling could attack the space. If Ling had had another yard, he'd have been clean through.
Referee Philip Don gives the free kick to Derby, quickly taken. Golos, stopped by Hoddle. Oh, and Hoddle in danger of losing it. Calderwood did. It's with Kitson. Williams waiting in the middle. Kitson might be tempted to try a shot. No, he plays it wide for Tommy Johnson, who's gone round Horlock. There's his cross, but it's far too deep.
It's interesting to see how Arthur Cox's homework is working, whereby he's trying to stop Hoddle. He's going to Hoddle very quickly and put him under pressure. Even Galou's there, who'd given a bad pass, straight away went and shut down Hoddle. Here it comes now. The chip is just too high and just floats wide there. It's a shame, it's a wasted cross. It should have been produced to the area, which is a 6-yard box you're looking for, in the middle of the goal, 6-yard box, and then there would have been a problem for Swindon.
Williams. And Williams again. Johnson. Galou's making a break outside him. Johnson shot. He's been something of an enigma, this young man. He's from Notts County. He's still only 21, but he was 3 times the top scorer at Meadow Lane. And he just, as yet, hasn't really found that form at Derby. He scored 4 times this season.
He surprises the opposition. He gets in some great goal-scoring positions, and he just misses out that end product. He doesn't hit the target consistently enough.
Maskell. Forsyth.
But Derby's had more than their fair share so far this match. They've produced some good footballs, and they're really changing the play well.
Short to Galou's. Back again. Craig Short. £2 million man plus. Forsyth. Up towards Gabbiadini. Kitson. Maskell. Referee didn't like that challenge by Mickey Forsyth.
No, it's just you could hear the studs just catch the leather of the opposing boot.
Mitchell. Well, what about that for a bit of headgear, John?
Yes, that would suit me fine, wouldn't it? I'd look a picture in that. Really would. Johnson.
Kitson forcing it through to Gabbiadini. Into the path now of Tommy Johnson. And it's a goal for Derby. Well, Derby had certainly threatened it. We were talking a moment ago about what an enigma he is, that he hasn't really shown his Notts County form yet at the baseball ground, but here he is, storming through Tommy Johnson. Hammond half stopping it, but not enough. And Derby going to the lead. John?
Vital point, he hit the target, Brian, didn't he? He's been missing the target when I've been watching him in the past there. He got it on target, it just went under Nicky Hammond. Good finish, that's what he needs to be doing.
Short knocking it forward again for Derby. Let's see how Swindon can respond to that. It's with Kitson trying to get to Gabbiadini in this time. Taylor content to let it go out of play for a goal kick to Swindon Town.
You've got to be fair to Derby. They've been producing the type of football that is needed to beat a side like Swindon. That's closing the midfield early, working their back four, not giving Glenn Hoddle that much time to play, and by doing that, they've produced men in the opposing half winning balls nearer the Swindon goal, and that's been really the whole battle has been won there by Derby, and therefore they deserve to take the lead.
Knocked on again, this time by Gabbiadini for Tommy Johnson. Now he's got quite a long throw, Pembridge, but not with that one. Galouz, Pembridge, stopped by Hoddle. Now Hazard. Now Pembridge normally is looking after him, as John mentioned very early on. But Hazard escaped there because Pembridge was taking the throw, and he's found Ling. Played it inside now for Nicky Summerby. Cut out by Williams. Here's Kitson, a lot of space for him. Gabbiadini, stopped by Hoddle, but Kitson held up. There's a foul, presumably by Gabbiadini on Hoddle.
Yes, that was a foul on Hoddle there. But at the same time, chance is being taken.
Here we are again.
There it is, goes inside. This is a little touch there, little play back there.
And here's Johnson racing through for his goal.
Going through now on his right side, slots it down. Nicky Hammond gets his right hand to it, but it's not strong enough to hold it.
Coleman. Ling for Hazard. Hazard shaking off Pembridge with a piece of pure skill there. Kerslake now to Ling. He's gone past Williams. He's gone past Forsyth. Trying to slot it in from what was really an impossible angle, when at least a couple of red shirts were standing waiting for the little pullback. Gabbiadini, stopped by Hoddle. Nicked away by Calderwood, but not very far. Forsyth, up to Johnson. Knocked wide for Galouz. Both sides playing some good stuff now. Pembridge. Don't think Galouz will get to that one. Sean Taylor. Knocking it down the line towards Mitchell. Bundled over by Short, was he?
In a funny sort of way, we needed that goal to go in for Derby, because this will make Swindon produce the forward-going play and the passing game which they're renowned for now. I felt Swindon were just taking too many chances. They were trying to be all neat and tidy instead of getting on with the game, which was playing their way and knocking the ball about and making the ball do the work. The ball never gets tired, Brian.
31 minutes gone, and Derby leading by 1-0 here at the county ground, Swindon.
I'm laughing at Pembridge marking Hazard.
Coleman away, Ling comes in, it deflected. And Sutton not sure whether, yes, he's just appealing to the referee, I think there. Can I pick it up? Well, of course, it was a deflection, so he could. It wasn't a deliberate pass back. Came off his own man, though. Johnson. Galouz, now he can't pick this one up. And that's taking the point earlier where someone would go rushing in on him just to quicken him up a little bit. You might not get it, but you might just quicken him up a little bit, and he might just make a mistake.
It's a good point of yours, Brian. That is something everybody should be doing, because goalkeepers have been known to panic on occasions. I had the big one at Coventry, big goalkeeper, best five-a-side player, but if it came to this game, I'm not so sure how he's doing. I hope he's doing well, heard he's doing well, but they have been inclined to panic at times.
Here's Kerslake. Played in for Maskell. Mitchell. Williams gets it up to Kitson. Cut out by Hazard. Knocks it forward again for Maskell. He's got Ling outside him. And Horlock on the far side. Looking to get a cross in possibly. No, onto the right foot. And it flicked off the Derby defender for the corner.
Surprising thing in the match so far, we haven't seen many shots from Swindon. We've seen a lot of play up to the box, but it's been ending there. Their quality of cross or their ability to go one against one and get that shot in hasn't been on today so far.
Some of his corner. For Swindon, Mitchell tried to get there. Ling tries to volley it. Might go anywhere. In the end, it falls for Gabbiadini. Kitson. Pembridge away, or rather Gabbiadini away. It's cool. He's played an excellent ball now for Tommy Johnson. It could be number 2, but it isn't.
What a magnificent ball that was from Martin Cool to Johnson. Magnificent. Johnson was unfortunate there. He just got a little bounce. Here's the clearance out. It's Martin Cool who breaks onto it and just gets its first time over to him. And Johnson, just as he's going to strike it, he gives a little bad bobble, and there it is there. And he just lifts it over the bar. Unfortunate.
But again, Swindon are gambling and at the moment are losing, John.
Yes, again at the back there's 2 against 1 there. You should never do that. You know, you should be saying, right, we're organised, which they normally are. They're so well organised normally, Swindon.
Remember, Derby with 5 successive away wins in the league, looking for 6 to make it a record for the club. Coleman gets it back. Sutton hits it long, and Williams has broken. Hits him on the back of the head. It might come for Gabbiadini. It comes for Gabbiadini! And it's behind for the goal kick.
Interesting tactic came there. It was the opposite way. The goalkeeper, Sutton, comes out, clears a long ball, and you see Williams setting off before he actually kicked it. And there it is. It ends up with Gabbiadini getting in there. It's a good chance on his right foot, just stretching slightly. Should have done better, should have hit the target. There's 2 chances now within a minute.
Calderwood. Derby are beginning to dominate it now. Kitson. Trying to flick it there for Gabbiadini. He tries in turn to chest it down for Pembridge. It might still come over. Acrobatics by Hoddle. Forsyth. Kitson. Gabbiadini waiting in the middle. On the far side is Williams. And a foul by Paul Williams on Colin Calderwood.
It's the front men of Derby that's causing the problem, because there's a lot of movement going on out there, and Swindon back 4 look as though they're ball watching a little. They've got to be aware that it's the opponent that scores the goal and not the space. They should be picking up these forwards tighter than they are.
Calderwood. Here's Hazard, shaking free of Pembridge just for a moment as we come to the last 10 minutes of the first half. Still Derby leading by a goal to 0, but Ling coming through. Coleman taking it away very sensibly from that goal area. It wasn't the moment for an attempted pass to the goalkeeper.
As a manager, you'd be sitting there, get it out to touch, son, get it out to touch, you'd be screaming.
Calderwood. Galouz. Gabbiadini. Short. Galouz. Long towards Williams.
Williams looks a threat, right? He's making some good breaks, and nobody's really tracking him down. Summerby did there, but he's been free a lot. Once he makes a forward run, it's a positive run, and as this ball comes across, he gets his head to it. He just hasn't headed it on target, but he is a threat, and he's got to be picked up. He's allowed to run at the moment.
Swindon still a goal down, beaten only once in the league here at the county ground this season, and that by Brentford. I've seen Derby a few times this season, as I expect you have as well. This is the best performance I've seen from them, the most compact and complete performance, John.
Yes, by far, Brian. They look damn as though they all understand one another's play, they're organised, and they're knocking the ball around. There's plenty of movement going on.
Free kick to Swindon.
And it may be fatal to say this, Brian, but they look solid at the back. I know they're playing in a square line. That's all that worries me. But other than that, they're strong in attack and competitive.
Comes to Gabbiadini. And suddenly there are 5 up against 3 back from Swindon. Gabbiadini making the break. In the end, well, they've conceded a free kick right on the edge of the penalty area. And yet again, we've seen some fun and games there involving Marco Gabbiadini. And Philip Don, as a referee, is regarded as a pretty strong disciplinarian. Colin Calderwood going there.
But there again, we had a break of 5 against 3 there. Gabbiadini just gets brought down by Hoddle and gets blocked off by Calderwood and gets a little bit annoyed. There's no good retaliating there. So he's got the free kick. You know, the referee's quite right. Have a good talk with them both. No need to retaliate. You'll win nothing that way. Just accept it, get up and play. Be ready for a quick free kick. That's more important.
Good piece of refereeing too. Sorted them out. No need to brandish the cards there. It's a good game of football. And I would think he probably told the players, don't start spoiling it now.
Exactly right. Good decision. Well handled.
It's Pembridge with this free kick. And what a finish!
What a strike that was.
And that's 2-0 for Derby.
Well, I've seen Stuart Pearce take them like that, Brian, but I haven't seen Pembridge hit a ball like this. Tremendous left foot shot. They had 2 in the wall, in the opposing wall. Derby did. He struck the ball perfectly there. Great contact. Nicky Hammond in goal. No chance whatsoever.
2-0 then to Derby County. Huddle. Knocked on. Coleman getting it away. Up towards Gabbiadini. And suddenly Kitson's through. There's a chance for number 3 here. Can Kitson finish it off? No. But Derby continue to make the chances. And Swindon continue to be all over the place, deep in defence.
They're committing suicide here. Here again, they're so wide open at the back. He's only got to hit the target again, but no, he's lifted it way over the top. You just got to keep your head down, look at your target and work at that. He's hit that ball leaning back.
Knocked forward there by Summerby. Short getting it back. Offside against Kitson. And Derby fans must be saying, if only we could play as successfully as this at the baseball ground. Well, if we had been this season, we'd certainly be right up there with Newcastle.
But Brian, you can see how relaxed they are. They're relaxed, they're playing their way. There's no tension in their game. It's so important that in football that you get your players to go out and relax and enjoy what they're doing.
I think Arthur Cox will tell you that there's such a feeling of high expectation at the baseball ground every time they run out, that really is, in a way, that is half beating them.
That is their downfall. If we say they got a downfall, which they haven't really, but that is the problem, as you state. You know, you've got to prove that these players are worth the money you're spending, but really and truly it's give them time to settle and let them relax, and then you'll see how good they are, which we're seeing today. We're seeing Derby put on an excellent show.
Pembridge. Gabbiadini. Kitson with the free kick for Derby. Johnson's made a good intelligent break there. Nicky Hammond had to come right out of his penalty area.
Again, though, a player allowed to run free, Hall at the left back, just allowed Johnson to run there, and you shouldn't. You should be tracking him right across.
That's a throw to Swindon.
But we've got a game on our hands now. Glenn Hoddle must be thinking, right, I've got to go in here at half-time, gee my boys up, work out a way of how we're going to get back into this game. And the only way you can get back in is by getting a goal, but you can't afford to gamble like they've been gambling at the back. You know, that's playing Russian roulette. You can't afford to do that. He's got to keep his shape at the back and just be patient and keep spraying this ball about.
Coleman.
They could be looking for the space behind the Derby back four. I would be hoping to see more penetrating runs from the midfield, more forward running for the midfield players, trying to beat the square Derby defence from midfield.
Williams with the header. Here's Gabbiadini looking for another one. Oh, it's wide, it's a goal kick.
The percentage of shots that Derby have had, or the chances they had, they've only hit the target possibly 3 times and scored 2 goals. They need to work at that a lot more. That is just one ball there. He's just stretched at it. There's not enough saying commitment in working at getting that ball on target. You've got to really work at it as a professional. You've got to be an assassin.
Gibson getting there first. And might get there again. A free kick to Swindon. It's Kerslake. Calderwood. Hoddle. Talking about the valuable contribution that Pembridge has already made in a spectacular way, but also in the way he's holding on to Hazard. That's really upsetting Swindon as well. That'll be an easy one for Steve Sutton.
That's a vital cog in the wheel, is the way Pembridge has stuck to him. You know, Hazard thinks he got a shadow there and the sun isn't shining. It's horrible weather here, but at the same time he's got to try and lose him. That's the art of it, and Hazard's got that experience.
Mitchell is just onside. But Short got there first in any case. Goulouz. Kitson. Nicely weighted little touch there towards Williams. Hammond. See, there's exactly the point. He was panicked there by the Derby County player. I think it was Gabbiadini. It's a goal kick.
That was a great demonstration of your point, Brian, and what you've been seeing at Arsenal. There, Gabbiadini just went to Nicky Hammond, and Nicky Hammond suddenly, his touch wasn't quite what it should be for an outfield player. You would hope an outfield player to reduce, and he was under pressure, and he gave the ball away and might have been chipped again.
Hammond with the goal kick for Swindon, 2 down. And we played 30 seconds of time added on at the end of the first 45 minutes. Swindon's free kick. Hazard with it. Hoddle. Kerslake. David Kerslake again, former Queen's Park Rangers player. But no hope of reaching Horlock with that one. Short, in fact, played that a little short towards Johnson, but Johnson's getting back to help out the defence, and in fact got the rub of the green as well, because with the back heel it came off the Swindon player and it went in a touch. The half-time whistle goes, and an excellent first half for Derby County. Johnson and then Pembridge. Hoddle to Lee. Horlock down the left. Nicely weighted ball for him. Horlock playing it in. It just wouldn't come for Hazard, but it comes for Hoddle, driven by him. And to be fair, one of the few shots on target that Swindon have had.
I think you're right, Brian. I think that's possibly the first shot on target, but the way Hoddle worked at keeping that on target is amazing. He really kept his head down, and he really worked at keeping that on target and making Steve Sutton make a save.
Hazard, Mitchell chasing. Goulouz taking it from Sutton, knocked forward by him towards Gabbiadini. Hoddle's with him. Gabbiadini's beaten Hoddle though, and he might go all the way here. Stopped by Nicky Hammond, and Swindon was saved by their goalkeeper there after Gabbiadini had beaten 2 defenders with a lot of determination. Summerby now putting it into the path of Ling. Williams nicking it away. Pembridge, a powerful run here by Mark Pembridge. No foul. Derby looked to the referee, but the referee kept his arms behind his back. Mark Pembridge disappointed, and here comes Swindon. Haskell's jump, short, Goulou's. Williams. Cool now to Forsyth on the far side. Kitson. Hoddle. Comes Horlock. It's the break by Hazard, but just look at Pembridge with him again, a point we were making in the first half. But he still finds Maskell with it. There's the chip on the far side towards Mitchell, gets down with a header. And Sutton got down equally quickly.
But as you say, there was a great example of how tight Pembridge can get. There he is, the header by Maskell down into the ground. Sutton makes it look harder than he should have done there. But at least it was a quality cross. But Pembridge is sticking so tight to Mickey Hazard that you wouldn't believe, and it's making a big difference to this game. Hazard's normally the playmaker, normally have more freedom to spray the ball about. He's not being allowed to do that. Good tactics.
Given away again, that time by Hoddle. Williams to Gabbiadini. Oh, that's a ball by Gabbiadini in for Johnson. And some excellent defending there again by Swindon, and it needed to be when Johnson looked on the point of making it 3 for Derby.
It's amazing there that Johnson hasn't got his shot in. I'd be very disappointed. The boy's made a great break. He's got a perfect pass there. He's got on to the end of it. He's got to be looking now to get his strike in. Instead he had a touch, and it's too slow. You've got to be quick, early, quick striking. Derby should have had 2 goals. Gabbiadini and Johnson should have put them 4 up by now.
Great challenge there by Horlock that held off Johnson. Here comes Swindon again, 2-0 down, nicking it forward. Can Maskell get on the end of this? Can Maskell still get on the end of this? No. Goulou's with the clearance for Derby. Gabbiadini. Hammond away. And Hazard caught a good 3 or 4 yards offside.
Well, it looks as though Glenn Hoddle and John Gorman has told Hazard to just play up front, and this is what he's doing now. He's just standing up with the front pair, just playing off the front 2.
Coleman. Kerslake into touch for a Derby throw.
He's like a bad sort of bout of the flu, Pembridge, isn't he? You can't throw him off.
But they are simply walking side by side through 90 minutes, aren't they?
Like they're at a wedding. Hazard's the bride at the moment.
Knocked in towards Johnson, but much too close to Hammond. And if you're sitting comfortably in the warm at home, I'm sure you're glad to know that it's raining, if anything, harder than ever here in Wiltshire. It's a murky old day down here, John.
Yes, I remember coming here and making my debut in big time here. I played for Wiltshire schoolboys here, Brian, and against Hampshire, and got beat 6-1. So they're not happy memories, but it was a better day than today. And the lights don't look the best to me in the world.
They don't, do they? And our cameras here make it look an awful lot brighter than it is. It really is a dark, gloomy afternoon here. And it certainly is gloomy for Swindon at the moment. 2 down to Derby County. Skidded off Goulou's his right knee for Horlock. And he might get Hazard in here, but Pembridge is right there with him. Hazard! And tipped away beautifully by Sutton. Oh, a wonderful piece of thinking there by Mickey Hazard. He shook off Pembridge, maybe for about the only time in this game, with a lovely little turn. There it is. And then a quick-witted little chip. And Sutton on the end of it to tip it over.
That's a great save, great skill. He keeps it on his left foot. It just shows you how to keep a ball tight to your body.
Here's the corner. Fisted away that time by Sutton. Ling tried to knock it in again. It came off the defender for another corner to Swindon Town. Martin Cool, in fact, it came off.
He's done a good job for Derby, Martin Cool, been an excellent buy. Cool by name, cool by nature. The way he plays it is very simple, very basic.
Summerby with the corner again. Williams, that one. Hollow driving it in. It came off the legs of Williams and out for the throw to Swindon Town. Ling. Can Maskell get in? Missed his kick. Summerby, a great save by Sutton. Another corner. It's a furious onslaught now by Swindon as Ling plays it in again. Gabbiadini right back there getting it away for Derby. And Goulou's playing it sensibly down to get a little bit of breathing space for the visitors. Kerslake. Knocked forward there by Calderwood. It's Swindon's ball.
The last 5 minutes, Swindon has started to produce the best football they've played up to now. They're starting with Hazard moving up amongst the front two is causing Derby a little problem. They've had to readjust to it, and trying to sort it out has caused them to bring more men back than they really need, and therefore giving the Swindon midfield and back men time and space to push forward. The amazing thing, I saw Swindon play at Newcastle and how quick they were on all set pieces, and they haven't been doing that today. I'd like to see them get back to that, quickening the game up.
Johnson playing it back to Sutton. Hit long by him up towards Kitson. Calderwood could only half get to it. Comes through to Kitson. Gabbiadini waiting in the middle. Johnson's in there too. Horlock away for Swindon. Now Goulou's. And again the Dutchman. Inside for Mark Pembridge. This is Martin Cool. Across the line to Michael Forsyth. Paul Williams. Still with Williams. Across the face of that goal. Horlock, a last desperate attempt to get it away. But Derby keep this pressure on. Martin Cool with a shot. It's another goal.
What a magnificent strike with his left foot by Martin Cool.
His first goal for Derby County. An absolute screamer too from the man they bought from Portsmouth. And that puts Derby 3 ahead.
Tremendous strike. The difference in the two sides is the way that Swindon are being picked up tightly and quickly in midfield, but when Derby get the ball, Cool and Williams have been allowed to roam and been allowed to have a lot too much freedom. But that just shows you there is a technique in striking a ball, and that was perfection. You won't see a better ball struck this season than that. That was superb strike by Martin Cool, and what a good player.
Here comes Swindon though. Ling playing it for Maskell. Mitchell waiting in the middle. Hazard's pulled back as well, but straight at Sutton again.
You wouldn't be happy there. Maskell has got to cross that ball across and not shoot from that angle. You very rarely beat a goalkeeper from that angle.
Here comes Hammond. Swindon, we think, are going to make very shortly a substitution. John Moncur coming on. And we think it might be Nicky Summerby who comes off. Ling. Pembridge with the throw back to Sutton. Let's have a look at the goal again then, John.
Here it comes in there, and it's a little knock-off there. And look at the space he's got. Look at the time he's got. Much too much time. He's allowed there to look up, adjust his sights, and pull the trigger.
Huddle. Back to Horlock. Trying to find Tommy Johnson with this one, and he's got the better of Horlock. And it'll be a corner for Derby County.
Good recovery by Horlock. He was beaten there with the ball over the top of him, and Johnson, I felt, was going to take it and really go in and cause havoc. But he recovered very quickly, Horlock, got his foot to it and gave away a corner.
So Moncur waits to come on. And in fact, it's Summerby who's going off, and the substitution now being made. John Moncur, the former Tottenham player, 1 goal to his credit in his career at Swindon. So the corner then for Derby. Craig Short looking to get a piece of this one. And a pretty unorthodox clearance. Pembridge onto the left foot. You're talking about Martin Coull's strike, but all 3 goals have had a real quality about them, John, haven't they, when you think about it? Because looking at that Tommy Johnson one again, as we were with Greavesy at half-time, he took that nicely in. I mean, it wasn't in his stride in the first place. He made it into his stride and struck it well. This young man's free kick, Pembridge, was beautifully struck, and now the one by Coull. All 3 goals really with a lot of quality about them.
If they'd finished all their chances like that, it could be 7-0, 7-1 at the moment. They've really produced some marvellous chances, and they just hadn't had that quality of finishing. But we've seen shots now going in. They've got the confidence and the belief in their ability, which makes a big difference to a footballer, Brian, when things are going well.
Here's Moncur. Stopped by Coull. No, not stopped by Coull. Still with Moncur. Twisting and turning, looking for a yard. Goulouz was in there. Bought a bit of breathing space. Moncur again. Twisting, getting the cross in once more. That time it was Craig Short up getting it away for Derby County. Taylor playing it in for Hazard. Ball there played for Kerslake. Hitting a long cross in. Let's see if we can get a quick word now with John Gorman on the touchline.
John, this scoreline is a real surprise, but Derby seem to have had time and space to score their goals.
Well, they've took them well, but it's been our mistakes, obviously, but we're very disappointed. We started the beginning of the game off very well and looked in command, and then they got in the lead, and they've done well. But the third goal, it's come again against the only player. We've been going forward and trying to get one back. But to be fair, Derby, they're catching us on the break, and the guy struck his shot very well. It's very disappointing, but we'll keep plugging away. There's half an hour left to play, and we'll go for it. We'll try and get back in this game, and hopefully we will.
John Gorman, the assistant manager here at Swindon. But there's no disguising the fact that it is a terrific task now for Swindon. Not least, John, I think possibly with so much rain on this pitch and it's really cut up, it's no longer a good passing pitch as it was really at the start of the game. But there's Hoddle making the most of it. Hazard caught offside.
No, very bobbly now, Brian. You can see all over the pitch that has been cut up and it's churned up, and the ball is bouncing awkwardly. With the type of football, as you say, that Swindon play, which is on the ground, on the deck, they play it on the deck, they're not going to find it easy. They'll have to change their tactics now and possibly look to get balls over the top of the Derby defence with a little hook ball over the top, little ball played over the top, little chips. They've got to be looking for that type of ball.
Coleman with a long free kick. Colin Calderwood for Swindon. And it's Swindon's throw.
Kerslake would be the man I'd be inclined to bring more into the game. I'm surprised he's not been going forward more, volunteering. Maybe because of the kamikaze way they played it in the first half, they've just told him to sit back a little bit, but I don't think that's the tactic now. I think you've got to, it's Muckle Nettles now, get in amongst them and try and sort something.
This kick there from Hammond, and Williams will take advantage of it. Gabbiadini is waiting in the middle. It's gone across the face of the goal again, with Swindon once again all over the place deep in defence.
Made a right mess of that, didn't he?
Moncur. Horlock, Moncur.
This is the difference now. To have to change your tactics now, you're coached one way and you say to your players, we play it on the deck, we play it on the deck, and then suddenly you've got to change your tactics. It becomes very awkward, and you've got to have the players to be able to do that, adjust quickly.
Calderwood's long ball forward. Mitchell chasing gamely, looking to force an error out of Craig Short, but not on that occasion.
They've defended well, Derby. They've stuck to it, they've been solid, and they haven't really been open at the back, whereas there's been big gaps in the Swindon defence.
Hoddle to Ling, trying to bring Kerslake into it. There's his cross, but it's far too deep. Sits up nicely here for Richard Goulouz. To Pembridge. Up to Gabbiadini, back to Goulouz. To Gabbiadini. Foul by Hoddle. Free kick quickly taken. I like the way Derby have quickly taken their free kicks today.
Yes, they've picked up the pace of the game and they're getting on with it. There's no messing about. The ball where the free kick should be taken is placed quickly and on they go. Then they're catching Swindon out. When you see Hoddle being the one that has to come forward and make the tackles, you worry a bit.
Kitson. An offside against Marco Gabbiadini.
I can't believe how much room Swindon are giving to the Derby players. You know, there's much too much freedom for Derby to play into and space for them to play into. They're not tight enough, not disciplined enough.
Coleman. For Scythe. Long ball away there, stopped by Sean Taylor. Kerslake. Here's Horlock. Kerr. Horlock. Break is on here for Martin Ling. And it might come now for Maskell. Might come still for Mitchell. And somehow Derby kept it out. And look at the goalkeeper. It's Steve Sutton who's now leading the charge for Derby. Now he needs to get back. Hoddle looking to launch the next pass. Delayed it for a moment, played it short to Moncur, forward again, back again to Hoddle from Ling, and an offside against Hazard.
So it was unfortunate there. That was Swindon's first real chance. It's a good break, lovely chip through. Ling gets on the end of this ball. He looks up, squares it across. Maskell just misses out, and it goes awkwardly for Mitchell, and it's well blocked in the end. But the goalkeeper, Sutton, off he goes. I'm going to play now and show you I can play from this goalkeeping position. He proved us wrong.
Well, they're making another substitution. Now Swindon taking off David Mitchell and bringing on Steve White, a striker. Goodness knows, he's scored a few goals in his time at the county ground, over 100 in fact, since he came here in 1986. Well, they need a bit of vintage Steve White right now. Halfway through the second half, Derby County leading by 3-0 here against Swindon at the county ground. If you just joined us, Swindon in the all-red strip. Kerslake. Calderwood. Ling almost caught out there. Horlock. Played in again for Ling. Busy little player in the middle of the field for Swindon. Hoddle. Tries to get ball through for White. Didn't come for him though. Taylor with a throw for Swindon. Cool. Goulouz. Gabbiadini. Setting Johnson off again. Nicely into his path. Kitson's waiting in the middle and just couldn't take that in his stride. In towards Williams. And a goal kick for Swindon.
Johnson did exceptionally well there. We criticised the kid in the first half, or I did, for not looking up and playing a square ball. There he gets beyond, he knocks the ball in behind, and it is a quality ball. Just at the rain on top of the surface, the ball just hit it and just skidded away. and it was unfortunate. Good play by Derby. White, cool again, was the brains behind it. He sat in the midfield, he's prodding, passing. What a good player.
Calderwood. Foul by Short that time on White. Swindon's free kick. Hazard quickly sweeping it away to the right-hand side. Kerslake. Ling. That's there again. This is Moncur. Little shimmy, a little dummy. Finds a yard, then finds Hoddle. Hoddle in turn finds Maskell. Horlock playing it in, but much too close to the goalkeeper.
They're being frustrated now. They're just looking to do things too quickly, possibly trying to get the killer ball, you call it, the A to B ball, so they can score a goal. Instead of being patient, trying to get down the flanks and get crosses in behind the Derby fence is what is needed.
Free kick to Swindon there. Didn't quite see what that was for, John, to be honest.
I thought it was the other way, actually. I thought he was leaning over the Swindon player, the Derby player.
Here's Ling. Kerslake. Ling full of running. Finds Kerslake again, completely misses his touch, but does not the case with Moncur. It's a goal kick again for Derby County.
I call those silly dummies, Brian. At my best, I used to make quite a few mistakes like that in my time, and I call them silly dummies. You've got to be able to read them. Here it is, just over the top.
Calderwood, strong header. Pembridge holding it up. Toulouse. Cool. And an offside against Kitson.
Swindon tactics are right at the back now. Now is the time to push up. Now is the time to try and get numbers forward. And you've got to take a chance at the back. But they were doing it far too early in the game.
Well, here's Hollowell forward, trying to find a bit of room for Steve White. Once again, Short gets the better of him.
Short's been very solid at the back for Derby. He's read the situation. He's been out behind the rest of the defence. He sees every sort of dangerous ball going through. He's read correctly. He's strong on the ball. People can't knock him off the ball. He's looked a quality player today.
Yeah, he's begun to look like the £2 million pounder. And I remember when he signed him, Arthur Cox said to me, he said he's got a presence about him which we haven't had in the defence since Mark Wright left us. And you could have been surprised that he said that early on, but now he's looking much more the part in this game in particular. And he did also at Highbury on Tuesday. But here, Swindon again. Toulouse. Hoddle sweeping it wide to Horlock. Ling. Hoddle. Horlock. Maskell jumping for that one, but beaten in the air by Coleman. Moncur to Hoddle. Will he try something on the left foot? It has, and in fact Sutton saw that fairly late, scooped it up.
Again, he's worked at
Smile on
keeping
his
it
face
on target,
there.
Brian, isn't he? He's worked at keeping that on target. There was just a slight deflection, I think you'll find, on this one, and it just had to change. Sutton just had to change his angle to get his body behind the ball.
At the other end, Calderwood getting it back to Hammond. Bit too close to comfort that one.
You'd be inclined to think that Swindon would possibly have, to be able to change their tactics at least, you need a winger possibly now in your squad so that you can at least say, right, I'm going to change our pattern of play, put somebody on wide and attempt to get at the fullbacks, but they haven't got that player here at the moment.
Toulouse. And back to Hammond. Hit by him up to White, knocked back to Hoddle. Hoddle to Ling. Getting it forward to White again. Finding Moncur this time. This is a better passing movement by Swindon. Maskell on the far side. Moncur with a shot! Terrific shot it was. Flying wide, though, of that Derby goal.
That was a super move. Swindon knocked the ball about there and got men there into their half. Little short passing game, which is their game. And suddenly Moncur gets good control, good first touch, and bang, he really powers one, but it's just slightly off target. Great effort.
And probably their best move since about the first quarter of an hour of the game, John.
That's quite right.
Offside against Hazard.
Mickey Hazard thought he was having a field day there. Pembridge was a yard away from him. Furthest he's been all the match.
Roy McFarlane there. And Arthur Cox doing a bit of shouting. But overall, it must be a very warm feeling inside to be on this dreadful day, to be 3 up with 15 minutes of the game to go. Here's Hoddle. Kitson. Johnson in the middle. Williams coming up fast. Gabbiadini. Hoddle. Hit long towards Craig Maskell. Too high for him. Will White be able to pick it up? No. Short finds Coleman. Seems to have plenty of time. Allowed it himself plenty of time at any rate to find Pembridge. Forsyth knocking it forward. Johnson making a well-timed break again. The flag has stayed down and Hammond had to come way outside his box to get that one away.
Hammond took a good position there because they were in trouble. He was onside, as you say.
Gabbiadini. Still with Gabbiadini. Pulls it back. The flag was up. The ball had gone over the byline. It's a goal kick to Swindon.
Brian, I've got a feeling here the bell's ringing for Swindon because their legs look heavy. They've lost their little bit of spirit they had. They look a dejected side and a tired side at the moment. I hope they can just call on something that will just buck them up.
And yet, wise old fellas that we are, John, we both said before the start, didn't we? Fancy Swindon to win this one today.
I'm not going to say that publicly, Brian, but I did. I agree with you. I did say Swindon look a good side on this pitch to maybe get 2 or 3 goals.
Hazard. Plays it nicely there for Ling. White's waiting in the middle. White, in fact, got the header in, but also Coleman did well for Derby there. Comes on again to Horlock. I don't think Hoddle will make much of this, but he did. He withstood the challenge of Goulouz. But here's Pembridge knocking it forward to Gabbiadini, who's certainly having one of his better games today, Gabbiadini. And spraying the ball this time to the Dutchman, Richard Goulouz. Johnson. Gabbiadini. Well, there was me saying he's having one of his better days, but he's looked a bit more the part, I must say, today.
Yeah, they'll always prove you wrong, players. Always prove you wrong. Whenever you say he's a good player.
Taking off Tommy Johnson. And it looks like Ted McMinn coming on. Well, Ted's a big, powerful runner. You might well fancy that right flank in this late stage of the game with fresh legs. Glasgow Rangers, of course, then a spell in Spain with Seville. Where it's probably a good deal warmer today than it is at the county ground Swindon. Here's Hoddle. Off forward now for Maskell. Has he got the pace to finish this off? Good challenge by Coleman. Ling. For Kersley. Hazard. There's Pembridge. Cool. And Williams getting it away up to Gabbiadini. Played it there. There was a foul on Gabbiadini by Calderwood. It's going to be a yellow card for Colin Calderwood, the Swindon captain.
Well,
and it was a challenge from behind, I think.
That was a challenge from behind without a shadow of a doubt. I can't see Calderwood thinking he's harshly done by there. Deserved to be booked. He just gone into the back of him, and that's not the thing to be doing at this stage. Here it comes up now, and there he is a bit late, just goes flying in, and Gabbiadini done well to get up and go.
Sutton with the free kick. Ball skidding away, out of touch, with 11 minutes now to go. Derby on the verge of setting a club record with 6 successive away wins in the league. Calderwood, a little late coming up. Steve White unhappy with the decision. I must say, from our position up here, he looked as though he was fractionally offside. The linesman sees the funny side of it, but I think Steve White maybe doesn't agree.
No doubt there, Steve White was 2 yards offside. You know, the lines were quite right. You always think the linesman's wrong, Mike, when you're playing out there. It's amazing how well Arthur Cox and Roy McFarlane, they've done their homework, and the players are carrying it out to the letter for them. Amazing. Don't normally happen like that. It's nice to see players doing what you're asking them to do, and your tactics coming into it and being proved right.
Ling to Hoddle, and it falls for Gabbiadini. And now Goulouz. McMinn's gone wide for him. Here's Ted McMinn. Played in. Gabbiadini missing his kick. White. Maskell going through. Short stopping him.
You can see the tightness of the Derby defence. You know, there's no holes, there's no space to run into. They're keeping compact, they're defending the width of their 18-yard box, and that is the answer to defending. Defend the 18-yard box.
Goal kick. Derby's defender, Richard Goulouz, has taken a knock on the right knee there. Looks to be happy to try and run it off at any rate.
He's the first player I've seen for a long time, Brian, with my hairstyle.
And mine.
A wide passing, isn't it?
Here's Moncur. Trying to wiggle his way clear of that Derby defence. Goulouz getting it forward again. Another free kick to Swindon. Hoddle. Kerslake. Up to Ling. Free kick to Swindon. Foul by Paul Williams. Now taking up this free kick for Swindon. Oh, that time Goulouz got there a fraction before his goalkeeper, and Short completely missed the clearance, and so Swindon get a corner.
It's a good delivery by Hoddle. It was right in the danger area, and the old ball patch came in handy there.
So Hazard with the corner for Swindon. Curling in again, and they get it away to McMinn. It was a lovely ball McMinn played in a couple of minutes ago for Gabbiadini, which Gabbiadini couldn't finish off, but this is one for Kitson here. A free kick to Swindon, already taken. Fresh legs getting the better of Martin Ling. And the old pro happy to take it into the corner of the field, but Swindon not wanting too much of that. Here's Moncur. That's out of play. Let's talk about the man of the match then. The man of the match chosen by Jimmy Greaves back in the studio, John, is Mark Pembridge for that wonderful free kick of his and his overall all-round performance, and I would have said that's the perfect choice.
He has definitely changed Swindon's pattern of play.
It's Forsyth on the far side. And now Williams. Derby allowed to go on, And across the face of that Swindon Town goal.
Do you know, I don't agree with Greavesy that often, but this time he's definitely right on this selection. The job has been carried out to the letter by Pembridge. He's done an excellent job on Mickey Hazard, Mickey Hazard is a super player, and he's tried everything to lose him. When he's had a shot, camera shot, we can see from here, he's followed him all across the park, across the centre circle. Look, Mickey Hazard's even thinking of giving him his shirt now.
Even actually, yeah, while we're watching that picture there, there's Hazard doing jinking around the place, and Pembridge will not be shaken off. They're walking back towards the centre line now. There's our man of the match, and if you just go a little bit to the right, you'll see a number 7 shirt. There he is. Just about 5 minutes of the game left now. So with Calderwood for Swindon. Hazard. Taylor. Hazard called for it. Sean Taylor left it for him, and then the back heel. Let's Hoddle in. Calderwood again. It's all a bit tight in there, and it's Swindon who are making the break now with 5 up and only 3 back. It's McMinn now for Derby County, and Williams just over the top.
Lovely ball in by McMinn, but then you get Swindon caught out in the centre of the field, quickly played out here by Williams to McMinn. McMinn takes 2 touches here, the second one is deliberately, and Williams is on the end of it. So unlucky. It's a great effort, great move, started by Williams and finished by him.
Taylor likely to be caught out. McMinn's getting himself to his feet. That wasn't far from being a penalty, I would have thought.
No, I would have thought that was a penalty.
Pembridge backpedaling, Hazard after him. Hazard now challenging Sutton, but Sutton whacks that away into touch. No doubt that Derby are going to win this game now. Here's Hoddle hitting it long, but White's on the end of this one. And it's a goal kick. Hazard's wide.
Yes, unlucky here. Here we go. The ball goes down in the box, and you can see an arm coming out here and keeping McMinn down. Yes, definitely. I would have had my flag up if I'd have been the linesman. Same penalty there. The flag across my chest. The Derby's played superbly well, and they thoroughly deserve their win today. There's no doubt about it. They've created the chances, they've made the chances, and they deserve to be the team in front.
But here's Ling for Swindon. A late little flourish from them. Hoddle's just off him if he can just pull it back. There are plenty of white shirts around as well. It came off Kitson for the throw to Swindon. Kerslake with it. Still with Kerslake, and a free kick to Swindon on the edge of the box, pulled down by Williams.
So it's the same position as where Pembridge struck his ball, roughly.
Almost the identical spot.
Exactly right. So what Swindon need to do is put 2 men in the wall and do exactly what he did.
But Hoddle has taken another course, and it's nodded in by Hazard. So Swindon pulled one back in the final minutes. White's header, Hazard's touch, and it becomes Swindon Town 1, Derby County 3.
Lovely little clip, isn't it? Bang, it goes cross, and Mickey Hazard, of all people, getting a header. He hasn't scored many headers, I bet, in his career.
And he hasn't scored at all this season until now.
What happened to our man of the match, Brian, there?
Well,
Pembridge, he's left him. You'll get a right rollicking off Arthur now.
Just a couple of minutes left. But Derby on the break again with Kitson. McMinn has made a great break into the middle for him as well. McMinn! 4-1.
There's the quick sucker punch. You fall for it, you get your goal, and there you are. You go and relax, and straight away punished severely. It's a great cross. He breaks here, he looks up, takes the ball in his stride, on his right foot, touch, 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 lays it in, and there's McMinn, who's made a great run off the ball to get there. He's really burst the gut to get there, and he got his true deserves, which is a goal.
Score within 50 seconds of the other one. So a quick reply from Derby County, and 3 points coming their way from the county ground. Even so, it, I think I'm right in saying, leaves them still about 11th in the table. But you wonder really, John, whether, I mean, one result can so often change a whole season, and this will do such a power of good for Derby County, won't it?
If there's a doctor in football, he would prescribe a performance like this, like Derby have done, and to get 3 points from it. It'll do them the world of good, Brian.
Will that come to Hazard? Will it come to Maskell? I don't believe it! It's another one! Swindon 2, Derby 4, Craig Maskell.
Lovely finish. He's got the ball down, lovely control, gets it down on his left foot, doesn't even look up, just bends one. There's a lot of bend on that ball, right into the top left-hand corner as he's looking at the goal. Great skill. Look, little touch, there it goes, bent into the top corner, and Sutton saying, oh my God, what's happening? Great, don't leave the set yet.
That's his 5th goal in 4 games. We're playing injury time now. Swindon 2, Derby County 4. Where's the next goal coming? Well, Swindon are looking on the chase again. Hazard's in there. Pembridge gets it away, but again, not very convincingly across the face of his own penalty area. Calderwood. Hammond knocking it forwards. Calderwood. Williams gets it away. Trade of time of 1 minute, and it on at the end of the 90.
We're certainly seeing some great games, Brian, this season in the First Division. Some great skill, great play, good football, and plenty of goals.
That's certainly the case again today. Swindon involved on Central Live last Sunday in a game of 6 goals, and a game of 6 goals with Swindon involved again today. It's a free kick. To Derby County. Yes, there's a lot of life in this league, and everybody who watches it says how good and relaxed the style of play seems to be.
Well, they're enjoying it. If you enjoy work, it's always nice to play, to work. It is their work, those players out there, and they like nothing more than to say that at least they've gone out today and earned their money.
McMinn coming back, but Moncur shakes him off. He's got Horlock away on the left. He's got White for the middle. Here's Horlock now. That's a penalty. So Swindon got a chance to bring it back to 3-4. Well, Maskell normally takes the penalties, or he has been taking them. Here's Horlock coming in. The penalty awarded against Goulouse there. Maybe Horlock made a little meal of it, but there was no doubt in Philip Don's mind, pointed directly to the spot. Maskell now lined up to take the penalty. Now, will he make it? Will he make it 3-4? A wonderful save by Sutton. Well, another match of high drama as the final whistle goes. And the last moment, the last piece of action on an enthralling afternoon of football, it's Steve Sutton diving away to his left to push away that penalty by Maskell. Goals by Johnson and Pembridge and Cool and McMinn for Derby, for Hazard and for Maskell for Swindon. And all around the ground here in the most appalling conditions, as you can see, people are standing up, applauding. Two sides have given everything and have given you at home, I hope, a wonderful afternoon of football entertainment. Let's have a word with John Gorman, the assistant manager of Swindon.
John, we're going to be talking to Arthur Cox in just a moment, but first of all, let's get a Swindon viewpoint. An amazing finish.
It was an amazing finish, but to be fair, today wasn't our day. It was a bad goal, last goal, although they took it very well. It was definitely offside. I'd like to see the TV to make sure, but it was a finale that we were wanting to do all night, but we just couldn't get going. It wasn't our day. Derby were good on the break and they punished us, and on the day it was disappointing because we can play a lot better than we did.
Yes, you made a lot of mistakes at the back today, which you're not used to seeing from Swindon.
Yeah, it wasn't like us. We've started off very well, but we just couldn't get our flow in football going after they scored, and they made it hard for us. Mark Pembridge just stood on Mickey Hazard. Mickey Hazard took him up front, and I mean, he got man of the match for doing a marking job.
Okay, thank you, John.
Well, wasn't that an absolutely astonishing match? Typical Derby, something kamikaze in their nature, isn't there? We'll be back with the views of Greavesy in a couple of moments. Stay with us.
If you can't use this diary, alarm, address book, calculator and word processor in 5 minutes, you'll get your money back. Just £199.99, the new notepad computer from Amstrad.
Daddy, what would happen if I didn't serve Coburns at Christmas lunch?
Can you eat a whole turkey yourself, my dear?
Think what you can do with a Black & Decker workmate. This is my story. I'm a practical man, and I could grip anything because I had a mate lend a hand. As the years unwound, I got myself a wife. But I could cope with all the changes in my life because I had a mate lend a hand. My mate took the weight as the years rolled on. With a vice-like grip, I just smoothed on and on because I had a mate to lend a hand. You got a workmate, you got a mate for life.
Starting now, your photos have the power of television. Introducing the Kodak Photo CD.
You won't believe your heart. You won't believe your eye.
Your pictures taken with your current film and camera transferred onto a new kind of compact disc and shown on television. The special photo CD player also plays audio CDs. The new Kodak Photo CD system. You've got to see it.
Kelly LeBrock reveals the essence of man.
It's hard to define. It's in the way he laughs, the way he smiles, it's in the way he kisses, the way he's so stubborn. He's always trouble. That's a man. And when he holds you close, it's in the way he smells. Brute, the essence of man.
Forget the usual stocking fillers this Christmas. New low call from Vodafone is a low user tariff with low price connection, low price line rental and affordable phone purchase. Call charges are higher, but then you'll only be using the service when you really need to. New low call from Vodafone. When you can't phone, boom!
You're at the heart of all we do. Call in and see for yourself.
Next week. Thanks very much.
Bye.
I think you're next, sir.
Yeah.
What's it to be then?
Just a trim, please.
You could have a Lionel Blair cut, like mine.
Lionel Blair doesn't have his hair cut like yours.
That's if he comes here.
Time for a sharp exit. Time for a cool, sharp harp.
Pint of harp, please, Chief.
Welcome back, and well done, Arthur Cox. Good day in the end, but what a finish. It was getting a bit tight there at the end.
Well, we had many chances, didn't we, Gary? Many chances. I don't know what the scoreline should have been, so you've had your money's worth.
We certainly
but
have.
I'll be looking, and I think our finishing probably made it exciting at the end, didn't it? Because if we'd have accepted all those chances, it would be nearly a landslide, wouldn't it?
It would have done, actually, at one stage. You tactically got it right today, and Pembridge was our man of the match. We're doing a very good marking job.
Good discipline by him. He might not like that because he's a very creative player, but it'll learn him, it'll teach him, you know. He's a little bit like Billy Bremner, only nowhere near as good, is he?
Arthur, it's a super game. Thanks for your contribution to it.
Yeah, well, we keep doing this for you, don't we?
Yeah,
Whether it's to our success or failure, but today it's our success.
We're grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
He loves building players up, doesn't he?
Good stuff, that, yeah.
Like Billy Bremner, but not as good.
I was just looking, I mean, incredible goal attempts.
Yeah.
Swindon 17, Derby County 17. That's 34 goal attempts. You can't. That's incredible. I can't remember a match where there's that many goal attempts.
Could last you a couple of months, that would.
And as dear old Arthur said, I mean, it could have been out of sight, couldn't it? Really.
Yes.
But lovely stuff. Lovely stuff.
Let's have a look at the two that went in the second half from Derby.
Well, the two Derby goals were excellent. I mean, the Martin Cool goal was superb. He was in the running for man of the match, actually.
Yes.
And that's a great strike. There's no question about that. Beat the keeper, all ends up. Can't be blamed for that. Kitson gets away well here. And who's on? The Tin Man. As he came on, as the old Tin Man came on, he didn't look as though he wanted to know, did he?
You can't blame him, can you?
No, not really, with a few minutes to go. But I'm sure that made his day for him. Did old Ted McMinn, so he did well there. But then it all came out of the blue, didn't it? I mean, Mickey Hazard obviously had got this goal that we all felt was fair enough. I mean, consolation stuff.
With his head?
With his head. In actual fact, Ted McMinn should have had a penalty just before this, and Swindon go down and get that, and you think it's all over. McMinn, as I say, scores. And then this happens, Maskell. This is a lovely taken goal. And, well, in the end, that was it. And you have to say that there was a penalty with, what, a minute to go?
Yes, I know.
That was saved. Absolutely fabulous game of football. We enjoyed it, didn't we?
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, even if the managers didn't.
I don't suppose either of them did for 1 minute.